Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kwai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center, Kagyu Tupten Choling on the island of Kwai. We present this program every Thursday evening, 6 to 8 o'clock on Lama Tashi. Tonight's program subject matter for the teachings is Guru Yoga. The aspect of Guru Yoga is your inner nature, brought out by an outer guide or teacher called the Guru. This originated 2,600 years ago with the Guru of our times, who was the Buddha Shakyamuni, Gautama Buddha. From that time down to this, there are many thousands of teachers, all of them gurus, and this tradition has spread all over the planet to many different lands and cultures. In the Tibetan tradition, it is called shamanistic Lamaism. So tonight we're going to do practices concerning what is called Guru Yoga. In the Tantric tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, the Guru Yoga is the fourth training program of what they call the Nungyo, or preliminary practices of Tantric Yoga. All of the sutras, peaceful deities, protector practices, all of those, of which there's at least 100, all are Guru Yoga. No matter what deity, male or female, and all of the Tantric Dakini and protector practices of all the lineages. So when we present this Lamaism, shamanistic Lamaism, the Sanskrit word for Lama is Guru. Lama in Tibetan means mother, perfect mother, or honorable mother. And the Lama in Tibetan Buddhism is the Guru as a spiritual guide to train you in the two natures of your consciousness and how to use them to quickly reach what is called Buddhahood. Buddha being the ultimate Guru. So you have the inner and outer natures working together. When this is accomplished, one is fully realized and is fully evolved as far as possible in the human tradition. And only humans can do this. Spirits and animals are not capable. Spirits are emotionally restricted and animals restricted by their consciousness. So tonight I'm going to start with a reading from the Book of Perfect Clarity, which takes us to the highest level of consciousness for Guru Yoga. The name in Tibetan is Vajradhara. In Sanskrit, it's Kuntu Zangpo. But whichever word you use, it's ultimate Guru, which means the ultimate nature of reality or the ultimate truth. And this particular one is called the Spontaneous Song of Guru Yoga, presented by Lama Dujam Rinpoche. And it goes like this. The Guru, Vajradhara, of the definitive meaning of the nature of consciousness is simply the ultimate realization of the outer nature of the universe established in our consciousness. And that Guru's name is Samantabhadra. So the outer, Samantabhadra, connects to the inner, which is Vajradhara, and these two together accomplish what is called Buddhahood, or complete maturity. Indirectly pointed out, or directly pointed out as my natural mind or face by the Guru or Lama, we remember the guide who is like a second Garib Dorje, who taught the excellent path of Dzogchen. It is the heart of 84,000 teachings of all the victorious ones, from the Buddha down to the present time. It is established to naturally liberate sentient beings without abandoning the deluded thoughts of fixation or drama mind. This is the greatest of oral instruction. In this way, there's no need to choose between the phenomena of samsara or the peace and tranquility of nirvana. When reassuming this natural abode through practice, innate essence, which is established in the minds of all beings, then the king of fruition is discovered to be within. What a joy or bliss it is to accomplish the aims of a happy mind. While realizing that self-awareness is the Guru, I supplicate him or her with free-flowing naturalness. In this way, I cut through the straying of conceptual mind. Let us all arrive at this state of non-meditation. By the power and blessings of the ocean of victorious ones and their children, and by the aspiration of all the sages and guides who accomplished mind in true speech, and may the life of the master of all the lamas down to our present teacher and his activity or her activity spread to the ends of the world. In this way, Samantra Bhadra, Samantra Bhadri, Vajradhara, and Vajradharani are the same. So that's a Guru Yoga prayer taken from the Book of Perfect Clarity. When we establish the Guru as Vajradhara, then we take refuge in that. And when we take refuge, we have three aspects of the refuge, what we call refuge prayer. The first aspect is that we're doing this with the intention to benefit limitless sentient beings. So all of this is an offering to limitless sentient beings, our mother. The second aspect is to take refuge in the Buddha, the Buddha's teachings, and the people who teach and practice. Also in the Lama and the Lama's Guru Yoga teachings of the Sutra and Tantric tradition. Then that becomes our support, connecting to the Lama and all the lineage masters. That includes all of them back 2,600 years to Buddha Shakyamuni. Then the third aspect of this is to actually practice, and the practice is the bodhicitta or bodhisattva practice, starting with the 6 disciplines of bodhisattva training. So that is the foundation of establishing Guru Yoga as the path to a fast-track path to enlightenment. So I'm going to do the first prayer in Sanskrit, then we'll read it and do the refuge and bodhisattva prayer. Tadam jova namte tadam yamte satyam tapse tudine jumte jisvi jechu neko vachi pivardu. And we'll read that in English. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration We go for refuge to all glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all of it. Excuse me. The Yidams, the deities gathered in the mandalas. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sanghas. We go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma. All of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. We go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly. We go for refuge to all until enlightenment. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Then we'll chant the refuge prayer in Sanskrit. Oden Lama Dampa Nam Lam Japsu Chiyo Yidam Shokor Givaso Nam Lam Japsu Chiyo Sanjay Shom Dende Nam Lam Japsu Chiyo Dampe Chur Nam Lam Japsu Chiyo Kalpe Gandu Nam Lam Bao Ganjo Chokyum Sume Sho Yeshe Ki Shendong Genpa Nam Ma Chaksu Chiyo Sanjay Shodam Choki Chodam Mamo Chenchu Pardu Dadi Chaksu Chiyo Dagi Jinso Jipe So Nam Jola Bencher Shanje Jupan. So I'm going to give a short explanation on the 5 levels of Guru Yoga training. And that it is absolutely necessary to have an outer guide trained in these 5 levels. These 5 levels are, first of all, connected to as the 5 elements of creation. Everything being established as one or all of these 5 elements. Earth, I'm going to show this 5-tier stack of incense. Earth, water, fire, air, space. And when we establish this, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, and space are the 5 elements of the energy program of our body. When these 5 come together through practice for the purpose of good health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good health, that creates a 6th healing modality. And that is what we call the Guru's consort. So the whole purpose of the Guru, the outer Guru, is to bring these together for healing into our body, speech, mind, activities, and the establishment of positive qualities of the Bodhisattva. As a vehicle or kaya, this is the Hinayana, the Mahayana, the Vajrayana, the Tantric Yana, and the Buddha Yana. Now these yanas can be called the Nirmanakaya, the Sambhogakaya, the Dharmakaya, the Svabhavika and what is called the Trinlikaya, or activities mode. This is all Bodhisattva training, all these 5 levels, all these 5 vehicles, all these 5 elements coming together for healing purposes. physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and most of all, to the benefit of all sentient beings, compassionately. The very top of this is all of these working together through an established mode of practice in a human being. And I can reference one right off, the Dalai Lama, because everybody knows. So that's a living example of full accomplishment of what we're talking about. For practice purpose tonight, we're going to start with Buddha Shakyamuni, who established this tradition in India 2,600 years ago. And through his many, many years of teachings, all of which were memorized and passed on to all the cultures of the planet, the availability started to increase from that person, that one person. And today, it's prolific. It's like a virus. It's spread everywhere. And it's available to everybody on the planet. When we do the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni, it's a transmission through the Buddha's speech. And the Buddha's speech was spread by not only teachings, but mantra. So visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, which is right here above my left shoulder. This is a symbol. And he's doing the earth-touching gesture, which is the right hand resting on the left knee, and the left hand resting in the meditation posture in the lap. The one resting in the lap is meditation for the benefit of one's own mind, and the earth-touching gesture means whatever evolves from that is to benefit the earth and the infinite beings that inhabit our world. So you visualize the Buddha in front to start with. Then, since we're doing tantric practice, you visualize white light from the Buddha's head comes into your forehead to establish your body as a body of light, energy. That's called the Nirmanakaya vehicle of the Buddha. And that is to benefit your body with good health. And the red light from the Buddha's throat is visualized into your throat. This is the transmitting of the Buddha's speech, either through teachings, mantra, or other methods, into your throat. And blue light from the Buddha's heart chakra to your heart chakra is the Buddha's wisdom mind, transmission to your heart mind. And this is not only the transmission of knowledge and insight, but the transmission of infinite compassion, how to use it for limitless sentient beings that fill our universe. Then you see those three lights shining simultaneously into you, and the Buddha in front merges into you. Then you become that symbol of Buddha Shakyamuni, just as it is symbolized behind me on our shrine. As you do that, you see the three lights within your inner central channel, and the white light in the head moves down the central channel and connects to the red light in your throat. These two spheres move down to the heart chakra, to the blue light in your heart center, and you are activated in a way that when you say this mantra, all sentient beings, all the animals, and all the animals on any planet where they take birth, and all of the spirits in the four spirit world are turned towards realizing their own true nature. So you think like that out of compassion for them and the sentient being, and see this mantra in your heart because you're thinking that way. And the seed cell will establish is from the three, Om, Ah, Om is the home. And the home is surrounded by the mantra, which we're going to start chanting. So it's a 3-part visualization, the home in your heart center, the mantra circling the home, you as your Buddha nature, Shakyamuni, and then all beings equal, filling space, mother, father, friends, relatives, all animals, humans, spirit, everyone. Tadyata, Om, Muni, Muni, Shakyamuni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata, Om, Muni, Muni, Maha Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata, Om, Muni, Maha Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata, Om, Muni, 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 Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata, Om, Muni, Muni, Maha 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 Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Om, Muni, Muni, Maha Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata, 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 Om, Muni, Muni, Maha Muni, Shakamunaye, Soha. Tadyata means all wisdom energy, all wisdom mind guru. Om, all clear light energy of life force, healing life force entering into you. Muni means silent one, applied to your body. Muni, second Muni, applied to your speech. Maha Muni means the great realization of the silent one to your mind. Shakyamuni Soha means accomplishing Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Soha means endless, always expanding, timeless. And when you say this, then you are connecting with the hung in your heart center and the mantra circling the home. And light from both of those blazes through your body as healing energy out to the 6 realms of sentient beings, wherever animals and humans take birth, and to all the 4 spirit realms. The heavenly realm, the war god and goddess realm, the deprived spirit realm, and the demonic spirit realm. Shakya was the clan, the area, family the Buddha was born in, the warrior clan. So all of this is coming from your heart to the benefit of all living beings, past, present, and future, filling our universe, all animals, humans, and spirits, or all Buddhas or potential Buddhas. That is how we do this practice for ourselves and everyone we have karma with, especially this life. Then to finish one round of the mantra with the home in the heart center, you visualize space filled with every atom in the universe, a Buddha field. Then you collect those infinite Buddha fields into you. The infinite sentient being come into your symbol of Shakyamuni, Buddha. Then your symbol of full growth, full practice, accomplishment, fulfilling the evolutionary process of the human condition, disappears into the heart mantra. Tadyata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Shakyamuni Soha. And that mantra, starting with the Om in front, syllable by syllable, disappears into the home. Then you say the home 5 times, visualizing a home in the head, a home in the throat, a hung in the heart, a hung in the navel, and a hung in the sex chakra. Hung, head, hung, throat, hung, heart, hung, navel, hung, sex chakra. Then you gather those 5 homes into the one in your heart, and you disappear that into space. Our universe. No center, no boundary. In this state of non-meditation, you relax. Simply be present, moment, develop moment to moment, present. Whatever arises as thoughts or physical body sensation, do not connect, don't block. Just let all of that flow. Your purpose is to stay still, which is the word mooning, and present. Then when you finish with this accomplishment phase of the tantric practice of the Buddha, then you reappear as your yidam, or as the Buddha Shakyamuni if you want. And it is recommended that this practice be used at the time of sleep, or the transition between this life and the next, and if possible, in the dream state. If it's used at the state at the time of going to sleep, it's called clear light yoga. If it's used in the dream state, it's called dreaming, skillful dreaming. And if it's used at the time of passing into the next life, it's called the transition to the bardo of becoming. The letter Hum is the all-purpose symbol of ultimate healing in Tibet Buddhism. And it is applied to Vajradhara and to a lot of the protector practices and to the medicine Buddha. And we have what we call the Hum healing symbol, which we did a Hum in each energy center before going to voidness, the accomplishment phase. And this is to clear those energy centers. Clear them of what? Negative spiritual influence, either from outside or from our distractive, emotional, judgmental mind inside. Because as karma has it, everything you think produces an effect in your body. Physical process, mental process, inseparable. Then, if you can remember, dedicate the merit of your session to the benefit of all sentient beings, your mothers. In this way, your accumulation of virtuous activity is not just for you, not wasted just on you. It's spread throughout the universe to limitless sentient beings, your family. The guru or guide is also called spiritual friend. And the next guru yoga we do will be how the Buddha came to take the Dharma to Tibet. And that happened about 1,300 years ago with the teacher Padmasambhava. Guru Rinpoche, he was called. And he founded this shamanistic Lamaism in Tibet in about the 8th, 9th century AD. He was born in Kashmir, an area of now Afghanistan, Pakistan, that area called Oregon. And he traveled across many Himalayan countries all the way to Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, and was invited to take the Buddha's teachings in the Tantric tradition, what we call Mahayana Buddhism, into Tibet. And when he did that, he connected with the king Trisong Detchen, who invited him, which was in an area of southeastern Tibet behind the Himalayas, and took on a consort. Her name was Yeshe Sogyal. These two together practiced for years, and then with the Trisong Detchen's blessing, started to present the Dharma to the Tibetan people in the form of sutra and tantric teaching. This guru is an incarnation of Shakyamuni Buddha. And as a teacher, had all of the full requirements of a Buddha. Skillful speech, skillful body, skillful mind, all the qualities, and the activity. And this way he was able to subdue the powerful spirits and what we call obstructor shamans that were in Tibet at that time. Then Yeshe Sogyal became his disciple, consort disciple. And she was trained to be the first Lama in this tradition of shamanistic Lamaism. And he left, went back to India, and she took the teachings all through Tibet and Mongolia for many, many years. So we do this practice of Guru Yoga of Guru Rinpoche. Now there is, in the Nyingma and Kagyu tradition lineages, there is a short Guru Yoga prayer and a long version. But for regular practice, the short 7-line prayer is appropriate. And it starts with the sound Hum. And when you say the Hum, you establish it in your heart center and in Guru Padmasambhava in front. This is the start of the Sutra Tantra tradition. So the Hum and Padmasambhava start all that wisdom, body, speech, and mind energy coming into you. Then you say this prayer, and if possible, you can visualize Yeshe Sogyal, his consort, in union, which is the way this Thangka picture shows it, in sexual union, or not. Either way is appropriate. If you do it with her, then you add her mantra. When we do the mantra, you add her name to the mantra. So I'm going to read this 7-line prayer. This is also the start of the Chenri Z practice and other sutra practices. First, I'll read it in Sanskrit. Organ Yugi Churyan Chan Dhamma Gesur Dhamma Yashin Vika Nushune Padma June Juna Kordu Kamjo Mampo Kor Veda Jesu Jaju Chi Senji Bhavshu Jesu So Om Guru Padma Siddhi Om Om Guru Padma Sambhava Siddhi Om. And it reads in English, at the northwest border of the land of Odayana, on the pollen bed of the lotus flower, you attained the marvelous supreme city, glorious, renowned as the lotus born. You are surrounded by countless dakini. I do these practices following your path and instruction. I beseech you, come and empower me. Om Our Guru Padma Siddhi Om. 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 Now, to do the practice of Padmasambhava with the Tantric method, you simply visualize yourself as you are with the Hum in your heart center. And Padmasambhava is in front of the Hum in his heart center. Then you chant the home, home, and Padmasambhava enters into you. You become Padmasambhava. Then once you are Padmasambhava with home in your heart center, then you generate all sentient beings as Padmasambhava. So you start with your mother in front, with Guru Rinpoche, and all your family members, friends, lovers, and friends. Of course, all of your relatives, even enemies, then all the humans on the planet, then all the animals in the ocean and on the land, as Guru Rinpoche, then all sentient beings throughout space, all the four spirit worlds. And then you sound the mantra. When you do that, your practice is to be Guru Rinpoche with the home in your heart, and the mantra circling the home. Then light from the home and the mantra spreads through your symbol of the deity. Your ordinary body disappears, and you're now the rainbow body of Guru Rinpoche, just like you were Shakyamuni Buddha. Then whether all sentient beings become the same symbol as you chant the mantra. Also, light from the seed cell of the home and the mantra spreads through you and creates healing energy for beings where you live. It emanates out to them. So you visualize like that. Your mind moves around in your mandala. Any part of this that you can see. The home, the mantra, you as the deity, Padmasambhava, or any being, or all beings as the deity, that's the practice. And it's to transfer this world of drama into the illusory reality of this deity, realizing that all sentient beings are equal to you, and they're all illusory, just like you. Om Guru Rinpoche Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Rinpoche Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Rinpoche Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava Rinpoche Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava 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 Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Rinpoche 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 Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava 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 Siddhi Hum. Padmasambhava Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava Siddhi Hum. Om Padmasambhava Siddhi Hum. Om Guru Rinpoche 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 Siddhi Om. 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 Rinpoche Siddhi Om. Guru Rinpoche Siddhi Om. Om Padmasambhava Siddhi Om. 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 Guru Rinpoche 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 Siddhi Om. Padmasambhava Siddhi Om. Padmasambhava Siddhi Om. Padmasambhava Siddhi Om. Okay. And with pay, we cut attachment to the drama world, ego fixating mind, of emotionally connecting to everything you say, think, and do. Remove. Then also we do the Guru Rinpoche mantra many different ways. But if you include the consort of the first Lama, Yeshe Sogyal, who he trained and started the whole system of shamanistic Lamaism that was Tibet, Mongolia, and all the Himalayan countries, including Eastern China and part of Russia. All of that, then you say, Om Varga Guru Rinpoche, Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Om. Om Vaja Guru Padmasambhava Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Om. Om 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 Guru Padmasambhava Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Om. Guru Padmasambhava Lama Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Om. Om 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 Guru Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Hum. Another way to say that is Om Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vamaguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru 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 Lotus Dakini Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. Om Vajraguru Lotus Dakini Siddhi Hum. When you say that mantra, then you visualize infinite dakinis fill space around you. These are all peaceful and protective female, we call dakini symbols. And they permeate wherever animals and humans take birth in the 6 spiritual realms of emotional rebirth: heaven, lower realms, deprived spirit, we call hungry ghosts, and demonic spirit. So all of these dakinis go to all these realms to assist sentient beings to quickly attain Padmasambhava's attainment of Buddhahood and ultimate realization. And Yeshe Sogyal also. Om Vajraguru Dakini Siddhi Hum. 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 Om Om Okay. Om Ah is your body's speech as a bodhisattva. Guru is your natural mind connecting to the outer lineages of Guru Yoga, the outer forms of the teachers, men and women, lamas. Then Guru Rinpoche being the source, and Yeshe Sogyal being the first lama. Then Siddhi means accomplishment. Om is the seed solver of your wisdom mind, healing yourself and all sentient beings and your environment. Pe means to cut off all what we call judgmental connections to what we sense, think about, and do. All our activities. Cut all judgmental emotional preoccupation. With this accomplished, one becomes a mature human being and a Buddha. So now you finish this practice session with the accomplishment stage of all sentient beings as Dakini, powerful Dakinis, wisdom protector Dakinis, coming into you from every direction as the accomplishment of compassion for all sentient beings, your mother. Then you and Yeshe Sogyal merge. Or if it's just you, you disappear into the mantra, whatever of the Guru Rinpoche mantras you were doing. Then the mantra syllables disappear into the home. The home in a five-colored sphere of light condenses to a tiny particle in your heart center, and you merge with the infinite light of the fabric of boundless space. In this dimension of perfect being, you simply stay present and alert. No past, no future, no blocking sensations or thoughts. Allow everything to flow in the infinite present moment. This is called Dzogchen Mahamudra, the great perfection or view of your natural mind, applied to your world and all the beings in it. Relax. Enjoy. Then when you finish this accomplishment stage of tantric practice, resting in the stillness of your own mind, body not moving, speech not talking, consciousness not blocking, just relaxing in bliss. The bliss of the elemental nature of the universe and the bliss nature of your own non-judgmental state of consciousness. Being present is the practice. Formally or informally, you remember that aspect of the creation stage of tantric practice, post-meditation. Also, you remember your yidam and your mantra, constantly applying them 24/7 into everything you do, say, and think. In time, the wisdom nature of your natural mind takes over. You remove yourself from the cyclic of emotional involvement with existence. The judgmental mind disappears. The non-judgmental mind takes its place, and you will spiral upward in states of infinite accessibility, infinite potential. And this upward spiral, timeless. This is called Guru Yoga. This prayer to Padmasambhava with the whom, there's a skillful aspect to it. And this skillful aspect was passed on to me from Lama Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche, who is now deceased. And when he gave this instruction, he gave the instruction of not only the transmission of Dzogchen, but what it applies to and how it works at 3 levels. And it involves 10 homes. And each time you sound the home, you visualize it. So the first 3 homes are for your body, speech, and mind. So you say home, home, home. Then through meditation and yoga and devotion to your outer guru, you say 4 homes. Home, 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 home. And this is with the empowerment of the teacher. Your body, speech, and mind come together in the practice of the Bodhisattva tradition. So the first of these are 4 homes. Okay, first you say 3 homes, body, speech, and mind, active. Then home, 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 home is body, speech, and mind come together into the Bodhisattva Sutra or Tantra tradition, whatever lineage. Then 3 more homes means the 3 yanas or vehicles are activated so powerfully that you cannot reverse. So the first yana is the Hinayana, the path of the Arhat. The second is the Mahayana, the path of the Bodhisattva. And the third is the Vajrayana, Tantrayana. This is the path of all the Buddhas, all the gurus. So your body, speech, and mind evolves in practice, and those 3 yanas enter into your stream of being to be taught to others by your example, by your speech, and by your activity. Hum, hum, hum. That's hum, Vaj, Hinayana, hum, Mantri, Mahayana, hum, Vajrayana, Vajrayana. And now we're going to say all 10. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, 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 hum. Hum, hum, hum. And this is the transmission of Dzogchen, of all the traditions of Tibetan Buddhism to you for healing body, speech, and mind, physically, mentally, emotionally, and most important, spiritually, to benefit limitless sentient beings, your mother, all the spirits, all the animals, and all the humans in the entire universe. And I'll finish this prayer to Padmasambhava. In this supreme place, right now, empower me, Padmasambhava, Veshe Soigan. Confer the 4 empowerments on me. I, the supreme practitioner, please eliminate all my obstacles, disturbances, interruptions, and any type of emotional judgment. Grant me the supreme and ordinary city. Om, 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 Vajra Guru, Padma, To, Train, Self, Vajra, Samaya, Samaya, Bahaya, Kaya, Siddhi, Om, Vaka, Siddhi, Om, Sita, Siddhi, Om, Jhana, Siddhi, Om, Sarva, Siddhi, Pala, Om, 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 Vajra Guru, Padma, Siddhi, Ayushi, Om, Nari, Jan. Om, 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 Vajra Guru, Padma, To, Train, Self, Vajra, Samaya, Siddhi, Om, Pen, Siddhi, Pala, Om, 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 Om. So that's the second Guru practice for the night. And that takes you from the Buddha level to the Bodhisattva level. Then we take you to the teacher level. Now the teacher level is when you do the 4 preliminary practices of Nungyo, all the prostration, all of the purification practice of Padma, Vajrasattva, when you do all of the mandala offerings, and when you do the Guru Yoga with the 4-line prayer. So I'm going to read the 4-line prayer. Now, what are these 4 practices for? Is to strengthen the practice of whatever skillful means of deity practice, Padmasambhava, Buddha practice, Chenrezig, Tara, peaceful deities, protectors deities, all of that. This is to strengthen the practice. And so we do, in Guru Yoga of the Nungyo, we have a 4-line prayer. And it goes like this. They're called the 4 manams. And they're for the benefit of all beings. And it goes like this. With all beings, my mothers, limitless as space, I pray to the Lama, precious Buddha. With all beings as limitless as space within my mother, I pray to the Lama, the all-pervading Dharmakaya. With all beings as limitless as space within our mothers, I pray to the Lama, the great energy bliss of the Sambhoga kind, with all beings of limitless space who have been our mothers. They praise the Lama with the loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight of the Nirmana kind. And then we say whatever our teacher's name is, Chen No, or the lineage, Rinpoche, head of the lineage's name. In our lineage of the Kagyu lineage, which are 12 lineages, we say Karmapa Chen No. Chen No means Novo Neki Ku, means all the three kayas together accomplish knowledge and insight, Buddhahood, Chen No. The No is Novo Neki Ku. In short, Chen is mine. So Chen and wisdom in the name of your guru. Karmapa Chen No, Karmapa Chen No, Karmapa Chen No, Karmapa Chen No. Lama Rinchen Chen No, Lama Rinchen Chen No, Lama Rinchen Chen No, Lama Rinchen No, Lama Nankai No Chen No, Lama Nankai No Chen No, Lama Nankai No Chen No. Dalai Lama Chen No, Dalai Lama Chen No, Dalai Lama Chen No, Dalai Lama Chen No, Guru Rinpoche Chen No, Guru Rinpoche Chen No, Guru Rinpoche Chen No, Yeshe Soyal Chen No, Yeshe Soyal Chen No, Yeshe Soyal Chen No. So you add Chen No to any wisdom being, translator, lama, or teacher of this tradition. Any spiritual friend. Karma Chen No, 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 Karma Chen No. Vera Dorje Chen No, 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 Vera Dorje Chen No. With all beings limited to space who have been my mothers, I pray to the Lama precious Buddha. With all beings of limited space who have been my mothers, I pray to the Lama, the all-pervading Dharmakaya. With all beings of limited space who have been my mothers, I pray to the Lama, the great bliss energy of the Sambhoga. With all beings of limited space who have been my mothers, we pray to the Lama, the loving kindness, compassion, insight, and power of the Nirmana kind, the worldly teacher, man or woman, is the Nirmana Kaya. Kaya means vehicle. Nirmana means worldly. Sambhoga Kaya means symbol, energy bliss symbol. Any deity, any Lama, any Buddha that we use in practice, symbol, takes us to bliss. The Dharmakaya is the natural obligating nature of your wisdom mind. Timeless and always present. So if you ever want to find your wisdom nature, just sit in the timeless present moment. Then take that moment and start smaller, 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 1,000th of a second, 1 billionth of a second, and so forth. Refine. No present, no future, no past. Those are concepts. They don't exist. Nature doesn't do that. Your natural mind is timeless. Kunta Jochi Chemto Chabalo So Mana Karan Chempe Mana Rinpoche Vaso Vadenso Mana Karan Yonti Sanchama Tamche Lama Decha Monjo Soke Kula So Vadenso Mana Karan Yonti Sanchama Tamche Lama Tuche Tuke Kula So Vadenso Kamapachano 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 And you visualize your mother and all beings as whichever guru you are adding Chetno to. 111,000 times the 4-line prayer and 111,000 times Guru with Chetno connecting to one of your teachers or all of your teachers. Not to Buddhas. Buddhas are already beyond the Chetno. They're the activity. All the Dakinis and all the protectors are the activities of Buddha. And you dissolve all of the teachings of your lineage, or lineages if you're following more than one lineage with more than one guru. All of them into you. Then you, with the image of the teacher, disappear into the home in your heart center. And from there into boundless space. Relax in the present moment in bliss. Of your natural mind, which doesn't exist. So all of the Guru Yogas are divided into the two sessions of creating the creation stage of the practice, of tantric practice, and the accomplishment stage. The creation stage is to deal with your emotional conflicting mind, your drama mind, which has run amok for thousands and thousands of lifetimes. And now in this lifetime, you have a chance to change it. Then the accomplishment stage is to connect you to the natural state where activity is non-judgmental, which simply means no emotional disturbance. Thoughts arise, but no attachment, no aversion, no pride, no jealousy, no ignorance, no fear, anxiety, depression, any of that. No conflicting energy program exists. When that is attained, that is Dzogchen. That's the field of Mahamudra. The 5 spheres of influence are exactly those 5 categories of emotion. So the emotion of anger carries its own antidote, unity. The emotion of jealousy carries its own antidote, bodhisattva activity. The antidote of ignorance carries its own antidote, clarity and knowledge. The antidote of arrogance or pride carries its own antidote, equality, equanimity. And the activity, the hindrance of attachment, the worst of the human condition, desire. This one carries its own antidote, which is discerning awareness, discerning that that doesn't work. That is the cause of all pain and suffering. That is the cause of the other 4 or 84,000 other emotional afflictions. When you decide something is good, you become attached to it. That's where the trouble starts. When you decide something is bad, you have aversion. When you decide something is supernatural, then you become arrogant. When you decide that something is inferior, you're not up to equal of everybody else. That's, we say, pride, jealousy. So these emotional afflictions, each and every one carry its antidote. They're called the qualities of the Buddha, the activities of the Bodhisattva. And the healing energy of those are connected to all of what appears as the elemental nature of the world. So all the earth, all the water element, all the fire radiation element, all the air gas element, all the space is the activity environment to become a Buddha, to become an accomplished human being. And there are infinite planets to take birth on, and we have done that. So these 5 elements and these 5 spheres of emotional application are our practice guru. All the lamas do this. My Guru Lama is Lama Kalu Rinpoche. And today he is embodied in Lama Kalu Yansi Rinpoche. And he is the head of the Shankpa lineage of the Kagyu tradition, of which there are 12 lineages. Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche was one of his emanations. And in his advice of the Dharma, Guru Rinpoche is one of his main practices. When you do these practices, you want to always connect your Vajradhara and Vajradharani in union with no ornament, naked. He is white and she is blue, or she is blue and he is white, or they're both white or they're both blue, but they're in union and they represent the accomplishment of the human being merging with the natural state of the universe with no judgmental application. And that's a picture in this book. Perfect clarity. That's the ultimate Guru. Om is the ultimate symbol of healing. So tonight we progress through we call the all-pervasive nature of mind, the Dharmakaya, as the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Sambhogakaya, as Guru Padmasambhava, and Lama Yeshe Soygal, his consort, and the Nirmanakaya as whatever Lama heads the lineage or any lineage Lama teacher, man or woman. And when we practice as Bodhisattvas. This is Bodhisattva training school. And this is a dedication period for that, to sum it all up tonight. By practicing in this way, and by the power of virtuous actions, and the love and kindness of my parents to me, and the teachings of Bodhicitta by my Lama Gurus, and all my commitments to all my Vajra brothers and sisters, and the connection between myself and all men and women, possession, and all the animals of this planet. To all of these, without leaving one behind, may they quickly reach the sublime and perfect state of a mature human being called Buddhahood. And we do the dedication prayer at the bottom of the refuge sheet. This refuge prayer sums up the Mahamudra lineage. By the virtue of having realized Mahamudra, I quickly establish all sentient beings in this state. By the blessing of the three vehicles or bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of us, the Sangha being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. Kewa di nu du dong, chagya champu ju tu ne, chowa ching pi ma lu pa, te yi sa la ko parshu, sanjay kusu nimpa jim ma dong, chone negu dimpa jim ma dong, kendum niche dumpa jim ma ki, chita umam shom. And all the Lamas have long life with health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. May all sentient beings be happy, free of suffering, established in bliss and equanimity. Future Jay, mahalo, thank you.